If you're truly heartbroken, my friend, and we've all been there as men, you better hit the gym. You have nothing else to do. Stop watching YouTube. Stop emailing me. I want pictures of you in the gym. Get to work. Heartbreak's a fantastic motivator, as is depression, as is sadness. Great. Look at what's pissing you off and make sure it never happens again. Every single man of value went through trauma. It's going to be painful to get strong, painful to get rich. Your heart's going to get broken a bunch of times. You have to be prepared for the pain. If you're not ready for pain, you're never going to be anything that matters. Trauma is such an important part of being a man. And the Matrix talks of trying to say that trauma is terrible and avoid trauma, or if you get trauma, take a pill, and that's unrealistic. Trauma is going to happen to you, and you as a man need to internalize it, accept it, and weaponize it to become the best version of yourself you can be. And that requires mental strength and stoicism. Like I said, I am glad for everything that happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing. I thank God for all of it. So truthfully, I think I'm lucky, I've been blessed. The reason I talk about these things is not to tell people I've had a hard life. It's to make it clear to people who are complaining about their own lives that the bad things that are happening to you are what you need to become the man that you want to be. I can't talk about women because I'm not one. I actually think trauma is terrible for women because it masculinizes them. They become cold, and that's not attractive, right? We want feminine, pure, protected women. I don't want a woman to ever go through anything bad in her life. I think a man should go through it for her and protect her, because I think that's how she's her best self as a woman. But I think to be your best self as a man is the absolute opposite. And when someone emails me and says, "This has happened to me," how else are you going to become important? How else are you going to find endless fire to get up and struggle in the face of the competition that's out here in the world? You're going to do all that with a nice, cushy life? Think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. You were heartbroken, or, you lost a house, or broke, or whatever. That's when you did shit. When everything was fine, it's kind of doop-de-doop-de-doo. Do a little bit of work, do a little bit of relax. But the big events come from trauma. It's a cheat code to climb the mountain.
There is nothing more destructive to the male psyche than sitting down and complaining and crying about your problems to somebody who has their own problems, which they do not even disclose to you. They sit there as if they're some godlike individual who doesn't have their own mistakes, aren't arguing with their own wife, don't have their own bills to pay. And you sit there trying to elicit sympathy, elicit understanding, automatic submission to some idiot with a piece of paper, a PhD he got from a bullshit university. You are dulling your sword because you're complaining that your own sword might cut you. But it's your sword that cuts your enemies. You're denying who you are. You're denying all of the things that made you you. God gave you all of these difficult situations so that you could challenge yourself and you could find the best way to navigate them and stay sane. That is why God gave them to you, so that you can become a better version of yourself. And instead of learning lessons, instead of being thankful to God for the difficult things he's put you through, you instead go and cry to some human, complaining about how something happened 21 years ago. A therapist doesn't have a time machine. And they don't try and make you feel better about what happened. They try and just justify your terrible reaction to said events. Because there's only one human emotion that should come from negative scenario, which is anger. Anger is the most powerful force on planet Earth. Someone can kill a member of your family and you can get sad or you can get angry. Angry gets something done. Sad belongs in the therapy room. But anger belongs out here in the world. Directed anger, focused anger. I'm not saying you start smashing your head against the wall like an idiot. I'm saying that very much like a focused concentration of water through a dam can power a city. That is how your anger should work. You should focus it in the exact direction it needs to go to solve the problem. If you're poor, get angry. If your woman left, get angry. Don't get angry at her for leaving. Get angry at yourself for being left. Don't get angry at the world you're poor. Get angry at yourself because you can't afford all the things you want. Anger is the correct response to any emotion. You know, I'm so anti-therapy, and I've had these conversations so many times with people. Their answer is that I need therapy, supposedly. If I need therapy, how come every single person on the planet knows my name? How come every single time I walk in the room, they're like, "Ah, Mr. Tate." and everyone starts going, Top G, and getting cameras out? How come I'm an international celebrity with hundreds of millions of dollars? How come when I was thrown in jail and put in a Romanian dungeon for 4 months to stare at the wall, I came out perfectly fine and still destroyed the mainstream media in all of their setup interviews in a way you could never do? How come I'm so monumentally successful and my women never turned on me and all I do is win, and you're telling me that I need therapy while you're in therapy and you're a nobody? I don't need therapy. I self-therapize. And I self-therapize with anger because anger makes me brave. And my bravery has allowed me to grab demons by the neck. People say to me, oh, I have anxiety. And they talk about it like it's a bad thing. You have anxiety over stupid shit. Keep your anxiety, demon. And now have anxiety that you're not rich. Get to the point where you can't sit still and watch Netflix and eat ice cream because you are too anxious about the fact that you don't have $100 million. You might start doing some work. Oh, I have depression. Fantastic. I'm glad you have depression because you won't feel depressed on a yacht with 20 supermodels, 300 million in the bank, and a Bugatti waiting for you in the marina. So it's a good thing you have depression because you don't have those things, and now you have to get them to feel better, so get to work. Get out of therapy. I publicly state that I have anxiety. I have governments trying to kill me, getting thrown in and out of jail at random, all of my assets seized, 9 baby mamas, my Jesco's broken, my private jet was clicking on the way here making a strange noise. I know they're trying to kill me anyway. I have anxiety, but I use my anxiety so that I wake up at 6:15 a.m. instantly enraged, getting to work so I win. You have dulled your sword, so you have nothing to threaten the demons with because you're too busy sitting around in therapy like a little girl. When anxiety turns up, you cower before it with your little weak, dull sword. I pull my blade and say, you now work for me. I have depression. I have OCD. I have all of it. These demons work for me. That is how I've conquered the world. If you're at home complaining, I have OCD, I have anxiety, I have depression, you need to get these demons in check. They are your weapons against mediocrity. Therapists will never tell you that. A therapist will say, oh, we have to get rid of your anxiety. Just bend over. We're going to get rid of your anxiety. It's not a perfect world. It's a world of war and endless combat and chaos. My legion of darkness is made up of monsters because monsters fight monsters. I can only beat my enemies because of all my flaws, because of all my conditions, because of everything that's wrong with me. There's things wrong with me, supposedly, but all of those things work for me. And it seems that whenever I direct my chi at any task, even escaping the highest level matrix setup in the most corrupt country on the map, I somehow managed to pull it off. You think I got out of this Romanian situation with luck? You think I just sat around and the law helped me, or I was lucky? I woke up 4 or 5 times a night. I could not sleep. When you wake up and you cannot sleep, you know what you do? You lay in bed and cry like a baby. The second I couldn't sleep, I was up, training, working, reading the Romanian law, learning a new language, finding Aikido, the European Court of Human Rights, new legal teams, new money, new ways to combat their narratives, fighting the BBC, preparing for interviews, endless reps, anxiety, OCD, depression, everything. That's how I won.
The best men on the planet are made of pain. Weak men create hard times. If you look at any kind of man of capability and stature, he's absolutely made of pain. This is why women love scars, because it shows that he's lived through something. So absolutely, I'm made of pain. All of my best lessons have come from a painful place. My life has been a painful life. I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm extremely blessed to have endured all of the difficult things I've endured, because what's worse than going through the things I've been through is going through nothing and being a limp-wristed piece of shit like all these other dudes out there. Thank God I am the man I am. I can't thank God enough for every bad thing that's ever happened to me. And the men who are not made of pain are the exact kind of man that everybody out there should avoid. And like I said, I get mad from a place of love because I'm misunderstood. I get very mad at people who say they lack motivation. I get mad at them. When a man goes to me, I don't have motivation, part of me starts to dislike him because I feel like he's a loser. And he has a duty to his bloodline and to the people around him to have as much money and capability as possible. Like I said, I was loved with discipline. That's why I talk the way I talk. If you lack motivation, then you're a loser. And I'm telling you because I care about you enough to try and make you be a better version of yourself. If I'm waking up every day with hundreds of millions of dollars concerned that I don't have enough money, power, and influence to take care of the people I love, you certainly should feel the fucking same. You should be trying anything it takes to try and win. Because how can you be so arrogant and so complacent to sit as the insignificant nobody you are with the no money that you have and believe that you've done enough for the people you love? If I don't believe I've done enough with my capability and my fiscal prowess, who the f are you as a nobody to sit there and go, I don't need to work any harder. I lack motivation. Because you're broken, unimportant, and stupid. And it angers me that you don't feel this duty to the universe and duty for the people you care about.
As a man, you can't say, I will perform when I feel good. It doesn't work that way because our heads are too complicated and life's too complicated. There's too much on our shoulders. And we have too much stress and too much pressure. You have to be the kind of person who says, I perform regardless. I have to believe it's going to make me a better person. What did I go for? To waste 3 months? To stare at a wall for 3 months? Is that why I went to jail? No, I must have gone to jail to become a better person. I must have learned something. I have to self-analyze and find the lessons and pick it out. And I think a lot of people don't do that with all the bad situations in their life. Regardless of whether you went to jail or a woman left you or your business failed, whatever it is, you need to analyze the entire situation and say, okay, what can I learn? So I've just tried to look at it as a massive learning experience. And perhaps that's a coping mechanism, but I've found a lot of lessons which I'm implementing. And there's a very strong chance they're going to put me back.
It's very hard to inspire people to take initiative to save themselves. Even if you try and help normies, most of them are beyond help because they are self-sabotaging and lazy. I like people who sit and say, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to do something. I don't know what to do, but inaction in and of itself is an action. I want you to understand how my mind works. My core principle is endless work. Endless attack, that is how you win in the end. Perseverance is the key. Making things happen is the masculine essence to how you should approach the world. You're only going to be rewarded if you differentiate yourself from the crowd via effort. You should feel genuinely worried about wasting a single second. You have a chance from God because you're breathing. You have a chance right now to get things done.
Most people go through their entire adult life without trying 100% hardly ever. Even when you go to the gym, you don't try 100%. Do you really try 100% with work? And it's interesting because we're entering the most competitive period of human history. Don't do it if you're not going to try. It's a bad habit to spend time and waste it. It's a bad habit to go, oh, I tried. Yeah, at least I went. It's going that matters. If you're going to go, do it. If you're going to do it right. There's no point in half doing anything. You may as well have not done it at all. If you want something, you find time. If you can sleep just fine being broke, then guess what? You're always going to be broke. There's no such thing as don't have time. That's all garbage. If you don't work for something or you're not prepared to suffer or struggle for something, then you don't love it and you don't believe in it anyway. Right. If you're not working for it, then you don't love it anyway. People go, oh, I don't feel good. I say, good. Your life as a man is going to be terrible the entire time. Having tears run down my face as I'm doing push-ups is different than sitting and crying. I didn't sit and dedicate myself to crying. My eyes leaked as I achieved. Life's hard. It's always going to be hard. The only way to get out is to become excellent and perform at a level where your echelon is so high that you get to live this brand new experience. You need to become strong and smart and interesting and charismatic, powerful, well-known. You need to do it. I get asked all the time, what do you feel? Or what about happiness or depression? How I feel doesn't cross my mind. It doesn't cross my mind. Whatever mood I happen to be in, I have things I need to do. It's a busy day. Like, I didn't cross my mind if I was happy, sad, excited. I just had to work. That's what allows me to be competitive. If you want to be the most competitive predator on the planet, you have to be able to hunt in the day and the night. You have to be able to perform when you're happy and sad. You can't only go to the gym when you're motivated. You can't only be a competent person when your life's going well, because when your life's not going well, you're no longer competent. I am more competitive as an individual if I don't believe I can become depressed. No matter what bad happens to me in my life, even if the worst things on earth that could happen to me, I could never become clinically depressed because I would never self-diagnose myself as clinically depressed because I don't believe in it. Because I don't believe in the idea of hopelessness. You cannot try and make me adopt thinking that will reduce my competitiveness as an individual. You're as competent as possible if you believe you can affect absolutely everything about your life.
You need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away.
You're not strong. You don't love anybody. If you love your women and you love your children, you're strong. If you sit and say, I love them, but I'm tired, don't love them that much. Men are based on their utility. We are based on what we can do for others. And if you're weak, you don't have utility. Because the essential and most important utility as a man is to resist enslavement. And weak people can. That's why weak leaders are the worst. You can't be a good friend to any other man if you're weak. Because you can have the best of intentions for me. When push comes to shove, you can either do nothing or will sell me out. Weakness is the most disgusting thing on a man. Women smell it. There's a reason they love strong men. And I really believe if you love anybody, you're going to try your very best to become strong. That's not just physically. It's mentally, it's financially, it's in all ways.
No one's coming. No one's saving you. If you want peace, you'll have to earn it through war. You feel like life is crashing down on you. You're anxious. You can't sleep. You lie in bed staring at the ceiling. Your mind racing through failures, regrets, missed chances, and a future that feels empty. And every time you try to stand up, something drags you back into that mental swamp. You start to believe that this is just how it is. Your mind broken, your motivation gone, your spirit weak. But listen to me. Suffering exists, but what you do with it defines who the hell you are. You're not a victim of your feelings. You're a hostage to your lack of action. You're not drowning in depression. You're drowning in avoidance, in a life without structure, without battle, without resistance. And when a man has nothing to fight against, he ends up fighting himself. No one's denying that mental health is real, but the lie they feed you is that you're powerless against it, that it's a life sentence, that the answer is always external, medication, therapy, numbing agents, distractions. They never tell you the truth, and the truth is brutal. You have to save yourself. You have to wake up when you don't feel like it. You have to train when you're mentally shattered. You have to build routines when your brain is screaming to stay in bed. Not because it's easy, but because that's the only way out. You want healing, it's in the hardship. You want clarity, it's in the chaos you conquer. You want power? Own everything. Your depression, your failure, your wasted years. Take it all, then flip it. There's hope in pain. If you're hurting, it means you still care. If you feel lost, it means you still have something inside you worth saving. The numb, dead men, they're the ones beyond repair, but not you. The fact that you're here, questioning, searching, trying, that's the ember. Now you have to fan it. You have to build a fire so hot that the demons living in your head can't even survive near it. And that fire comes from action, responsibility, repetition. Everyone wants to feel understood. Everyone wants someone to tell them, it's okay, you're not weak, you're just struggling. But what happens when you stay in that comfort too long? What happens when struggling becomes your identity? You lose the fire. You lose the urgency. You start building excuses instead of a strategy. And slowly, without realizing it, you become addicted to sympathy. It's not your fault, they say. But here's what they won't tell you. If it's not your fault, then it's not your solution either. You've handed over the steering wheel of your life to a diagnosis, a feeling. Let me ask you something. If your house was on fire, would you sit there analyzing
how the fire started? Would you lie on the floor weeping about how unfair it is that your house caught fire while others are fine? Or would you stand up, find the extinguisher, and start fighting for your life? Mental pain is fire. And every minute you sit in it without action, it consumes more of who you are. But I'm overwhelmed. Good, use it. Let the overwhelm become fuel. Let it push you to do the hard thing first. The hard thing is never going to feel easy. That's why it changes you. The real ones move when it's dark. You think strength is smiling on sunny days? No. It's standing tall when your chest is tight, your thoughts are loud, and your soul feels like quitting. That's when kings are made, not in luxury, not in therapy sessions, but in war, in the dirt, in the silence between breakdowns and breakthroughs. And here's what most men don't understand. You don't need to feel good to do good. You need to do good. And eventually, you'll feel good. Action rewires your brain. Progress creates purpose. But it all starts with one decision: to take control, not of other people, of yourself.